to order for the meeting for Joliet Township government for Tuesday, August 9th at 5 p.m. Can we all rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Get a roll call for attendance, please.
Sure. Trustee Escutia?
Here.
Trustee Ibarra?
Here.
Trustee Slattery?
Here.
Supervisor Contreras?
Here. All right, our first agenda item is approval for minutes for a regular town board meeting for July 12th, 2022. Can I get a motion to approve our minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve.
I get a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Ibarra?
Aye.
Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Trustee Escutia?
Aye.
Trustee Supervisor Contreras?
Aye.
Motion carried.
At this moment, would anyone like to, does anyone have any public comment on any agenda item?
I do have a question. We
Yes.
have some public comment, but they're not on agenda items. When can we do that?
Now? That's okay.
Now?
Yeah.
Okay,
correct.
wonderful.
You just state your name and.
Hi.
Do you want to come to the podium? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes, come on up.
My name is Ezekiel Gonzalez. I am Jose Angel Gonzalez's son who lives in 1407, I think Spencer Street or Illinois Highway, I think it is. I don't know if I go by whatever Google Map tells me. Anyways, the reason why we're here is because he purchased about 3 acres on the corner of Gerber Street and Spencer. And he purchased this on the last fall of last year. And in the spring, we noticed, you know, we started working on the property and everything, but then as the snow and the ice started to thaw out, it started to become like a massive puddle of water all through probably 2 acres of his land. And then in front of the house, the front acre, it was also puddled, but we were able to take care of that. We kind of noticed what the problem was in there. But so anyways, yesterday we were out there because of the rain, and we actually couldn't even cut the grass for the last couple, 3-4 days. It was just saturated with water. And I walked along Brick Street, and it seems like all the way from the Y, if you guys are familiar with the area, from the YMCA down is pitched to what it might be a retaining pond. But I don't know if there's different types of retaining ponds, because that pond does not hold any water. So it's just draining all the way, and it seems like the drain happens to be in the middle of Frank's house, which is our neighbor, and my dad's house, and then the water just literally just comes right in the middle of the property. And we walked down the little stream from Briggs down along Frank's property and my dad's property, and then all the way down to Gerber Street. And then we walked towards Spencer. We were going south on Gerber, or Burger Street. Sorry, Burger Street. And it seemed like the water was just standing there. It wasn't much of a flow. So I don't know if it's just something to do with downstream, wherever further down or not. But from what I can see on my own knowledge, it seemed like right at the corner of
Spencer and
Burger, it was a lot of debris. We tried to clean it, and it was still just, the pitch is not there. So it just collects water, and then it seems like also the stream down there, because there's not much of a water flow, it just works its way back into my dad's property and Frank's property. Then we walked to the corner of Briggs and Spencer, and I could not find any type of trench or anything to capture any of that water and actually go in front of our property, which it seems like there is a trench along Spencer on the north side, and it's dry. It's completely dry, so I don't know if there's any type of water going from anywhere else in there, but it doesn't seem to be anywhere. So it seems like it was pitched from that corner down back into the middle of the property of Frank's property, which then at that point, Frank's got, I think soybean or something. He does farm part of that, and he said he couldn't farm the rest of that, the property behind, because he just couldn't even get there. Whether it was raining or not, it was always just saturated with water. So I did take pictures with my phone for visual. It wasn't raining that much yesterday at the time that I went there, which it was at approximately 4 o'clock, but you can still see, I mean, I was standing in my dad's yard, in the middle of my dad's yard, and which is probably 120 feet from his property line, and I was standing in 3-4 inches of water, just standing water. So I don't know if there's anything that we can do to.
Well, can we find out what exactly, who that belongs to, whether it's us, county, or state? So
I'd like to add to that too,
Yeah, go ahead,
what
ma'am.
Zeke has done.
So,
Okay,
so
go ahead.
here's a question. When it snows, right, who takes care of the streets? Who plows the streets? Is it the township, the county, the city?
So on a lot of those roads, it goes between,
Spencer and Berger with block.
it's
And I'm sorry, I don't know
And the
who.
highway commissioner. And
Highway
then
commissioner for county
the
or?
township.
the
This is a township meeting.
So, okay,
Yeah,
okay, so
and
it is,
then Briggs is done by the county.
okay.
Yeah.
So then how do we figure? or
It's
how can we-
township. It's township. Right there on the corner of Briggs and Spencer Road is township. They plow it. That's where the problem is, even though it crosses over Briggs Street. The problem is, the main problem is on Berger Avenue that goes, and the drainage runs into Spencer Road, so it's township, because township was out there.
So this has been a problem for a year, because the Seafon family called me a year ago. I got Vince, you were involved in it,
Yep.
the Will County engineer for IDOT was involved in it.
Correct.
I don't know that a
more than a
resolution
year.
was ever
Yeah.
come of it, but I do know that I drove past there on Sunday night at about 7 o'clock after 4 hours of absolutely no more rain. That you could see from, like he said, starting around the YMCA on the east side of Bridge Street, that's where the water starts, and it comes all the way down through the Seafon property. It is eroding Berger Avenue. It's just completely, even the engineer for, IDOT was very surprised at how eroded Berger Avenue is. Because of this water, it's completely eroded. And the other thing is, I think pestilence would be a huge concern with a bunch of standing water, and, West Nile virus just recently had some, little mosquitoes have tested positive, so. But I'm sorry, go ahead.
I have a bunch of pictures, and I'd just like to bring some of them up so you could see them. I wanted to add to what Zeke had mentioned. This issue, this is from this, just a couple of days ago. This is from a past flood. These are the things that Spencer Road is dealing with. This is east. That's county. That's east of Briggs, thank you, of Briggs Street. And what's happening is my dad and Zeke's dad, they have a little natural flow of drainage of water, okay? And what has happened throughout the years is that more and more development and more tiles and drain pipes have been pumped into what Zeke had said, this detention pond that doesn't hold anything. Here are even more photos. I mean, it's crazy. So, the water flow has increased. The drainage water has increased tremendously. And we all know that east of Brick Street, there will be even more development. When Zeke, Mr. Gonzalez and I, we walked on the east side of Brick Street to look at this detention pond, we noticed Frank and Jose are accepting the majority of the water from the east side of Brick Street. How can that be? This is absolute insanity. It's constantly wet. There are photos there. We've been in a drought. We haven't had rain in a very long time up until, what, a couple of days ago? Thanks Vince for coming out and taking out that tube. There was so much water coming out.
Yeah.
I've noticed, and I watch these township meetings on YouTube and things like that, and I see that there are all these grants for these different groups. Taxpayer money is given to different groups. Where is the fund? Where is the fund for, community members that are dealing with this, that can help rent equipment, help us buy the materials? We can do it, but we need the help. It is crazy. It is crazy. There's a gentleman right here. He said the flooding, he lives on the east side, the west side of Berger Avenue, across from Mr. Gonzalez. And that Berger Avenue floods. We cannot take it anymore. It is ruining, and larger amounts of Mr. Gonzalez's land is flooded out. So, what paperwork do we need to fill out? And we would like to do this. Or could it be a grant given to the road district? The road district already, Vince sent me an email saying that you have preliminary plans for this.
Also, just for the purposes since we're here at the meeting.
Yeah,
Pulling out the pipes is, in my opinion, was the first step.
first step, I agree.
I
It
don't
needs to
know
be
that-
deeper, wider,
Sure.
pitched, as Zeke has said.
Sure, but this is the first thing we could do, because like you said, if you notice those pipes where they're holding water.
Yes,
I told, last year I was out there with your dad.
yeah,
Told him that I would see how it went, and I thought those pipes needed to be removed. Probably should have been removed to begin the summer, but feedback, obviously removed them right away.
Right,
So-
and feedback to those, I was there when they were removing them.
Yeah.
I happened to go there, and they were in the middle of taking so they removed 2 sections, I believe there were 10-foot sections.
Yeah.
Of pipe, but I don't think the issue was there. I think honestly, the issue is, even if there's another 2 more sections of pipe from where my dad's property begins,
Mm-hmm.
which is where the stream's supposed to come down in the middle of towards the edge.
So heading north from your.
Heading north, correct. So it's there, but, so yesterday what I experienced was, I'm standing in my dad's side of the property and it's wet. I'm probably 6 inches deep into mud and water. And then I thought that by me going onto Berger Street, I was walking along, but then it was also even saturated because it was overflowing the pipe. So the
Yes.
pipe is not helping anything. The problem, I think, again, I'm not an expert, but if you look down the stream towards the corner of Berger and Spencer, there's a lot of debris in there. We clean it as much as we could, but there's still not enough flow because it's flat. So somehow, I don't know where that leads to, if it's to another creek.
to Sugar Creek.
Is that where it is?
The water drains eventually into Sugar Creek. We need help.
So if we can just maybe find a way to either pitch it down more. I know that we have some type of equipment that we use in our farm, but it's not the correct equipment to do the job.
I think this is something that we can coordinate with the road district and the township, but then we need to find out exactly what the solution's gonna be for everyone, right? Because we're also speculating what it could be, but I think that's something we can realistically work on something, because I've seen other townships participate in those, what you're mentioning about just the equipment stuff. I know that stuff has been done.
Okay.
So it can, So there is a path to that.
Okay,
Okay.
We're willing to participate, but
Yes.
then we also need to find out exactly what the root
What the
causes
problem
are.
Yes.
Cause I would like to,
I'll
if
say
we do
this,
this, we have.
We can do, I mean, I'm willing to do as much as we possibly can do.
in the ditch or on the properties as well?
Well, I can't, by law, the road district cannot go on a private property.
Well, that's why I am saying,
Right.
is there a grant
We,
that?
I've
we-
seen, that's what I'm saying, I've seen them work on other townships, so now we have to do our due diligence to look into what that actually looks like on paper.
Okay,
So I also don't wanna tell you something that's not, but in other township meetings, I've been to, when we met with, conversations I had when we had our state conference, they had mentioned some townships have the ability to do something
Mhm.
like that.
okay.
So,
Because I was talking to Mr. Gonzalez today, and, I think you had a question, is it leaching into the septic fields as well? And that's a whole nother problem, and then we have another neighbor from the west side of Burger Avenue, where the water, am I correct, floods your front yard and your garage. Did you want to mention that?
Well, that's been there for, I own it for
Can,
15
before
years.
you go on, I don't have names of
That's
the
fine.
speakers, can I have your name, please?
Margie C. Pond.
Okay. And Mister, if you wanna take the podium, what is your name?
We got Greg Dopsick. And I own the property at 1431 Burger Road.
D-O-B-S-I-K?
D-O-B-C-Z-Y-K,
Okay, and your address was?
1431 Burger.
Okay, thank you.
But all the water comes from back up on the top anyway, and it's been that way. I meant to always get into it, but it's like, kind of almost like beating a dead horse. It's like, it is what it's been that way forever, but seeing how it's to the point where everybody's starting to have issues and problems. I live right across the street from where you took the culverts out, where the marsh is right there.
Yeah.
And the water comes, cause I got my property, and it just comes across, comes from down the hill on
Yeah.
the other side, and runs behind a couple of houses back there, and it just comes, it runs across.
Yeah, it's
It
natural.
ain't, I know it's natural.
Yeah.
But it eats the ground, and I ended up
It
taking
does.
a few loads of back dirt, and just to try to get that, because it just keeps eating it and eating it and eating it, but it floods the whole darn yard, and it just sits in there, and it goes all the way up to basically the house, and I'm like, shoot, I should've realized about the lowest lot on the whole neighborhood, but, thank God it hasn't come in the house, but it is, it's just, it rolls over the street there, because on my side, the little ditch there, it only has this 8-inch little culvert, and it can't take
And
it,
they're
so.
low, they're low.
Everything
Yeah.
is what it is, but, I just wanted to mention, and somebody had mentioned to come, so we thought we'd come and see what it is, and I know you got your hands full with everything, but, hopefully we can maybe do something with, I don't know if they put some catch basins in or whatever you can do, but
I'd have
you
to-
guys,
yeah.
you have,
Yeah.
you're sitting down and figuring
It's
out
just,
what
it's
it is.
just, to me, like when I looked at it, on the trench in front of the property, it's dry, so everything that is coming from Brick Street is pitched back to the middle of Mr. Frank's property.
Yeah.
In the middle, I mean, his yard is divided in half, and it's saturated, and the back side, you can't even walk in there, it's the same as my dad's house.
Right.
I understand that as Brick is up here, and then Frank's property is probably 4 or 5 feet below Brick Street, and then my dad's even lower. So yeah, my parents take the brunt of it, but I just don't understand as to like why in the property and not towards the front. It seems like they didn't pitch it towards the front of the house where there's already a trench.
Right.
I looked at there, and there is a receiving register, or what do you call
Right,
that?
yeah.
Water register.
Right.
But it's not
Doesn't get
pitched
into
this
the
way. It
water.
seems like when they redid that section
Near Spencer?
from the corner of Spencer, it seems like, I remember, I was a little kid, but I remember that section was redone. And it seems like from that point on, it's actually pitching back to Frank's property back, not towards the front where there was already a trench there.
Is that marsh that's over there, is that high on this end, so it's not draining, that's running back in there where, that high marsh is all, how it's over? I don't know if they get
Marky's
some drain.
definitely right. Development has not always been completely responsible in that area.
Yeah.
And they've not,
They had a little swale through there to.
yeah, and
get
then
rid
the county
of that,
sends its
that's
water
why.
and the natural flow of water,
It's crazy.
it is, and it's worse and worse than it's been, so, yeah.
We can, look at, we'd have to sit down with, the road district, and myself. We'd be the two direct contacts for this, and then we'd have to see what this looks like, big picture, like this isn't just like a weekend.
No, totally
Thank
agree,
you.
but could you get, what would be just approximate timeline?
I mean, I would have to see, I would have to get an opinion from exactly how big the scope of this is, because I mean, I see the pictures, but there could be other things that aren't in the picture, like we literally, we could start working on this, looking into it like next week, right? Literally,
Right.
but like, from start to finish, for anything that has to do with
No,
anyone
I
that has to
get
do
it.
with infrastructure.
If we could get.
Just get a plan going.
Correct. I would have to find out what exactly is going on and how scope it is, because it might be something that actually also involves, like the county. It might be something that, this is a lot bigger than
Well, the county,
just.
it seems like if the east side of Briggs is county and then the west side is township, then yes, we have
Correct, that's
both.
what I'm saying, it's realistically, just seeing how big the issue is, it's more than just the township, so we need to find out exactly
Well,
all the entities that are
That's what I'm
gonna be
saying,
involved.
I would like to help as much as I possibly can.
Thank you.
Well, I'm just saying, because it's not a matter of just to get to it now, but, as much as I can do, I'm willing to do.
Yeah,
That would be
we
great.
can, I can give you guys my direct email, and then we can set up the meeting, and then we will proceed to see what it realistically looks like. Cause I don't even wanna say this is what it is because of these pictures, because, beyond this, it's a whole nother set of issues we didn't know we run into. Almost like the developments that all these developers have come, they think they're doing a great thing doing the development, they didn't think of the adverse effects that are happening to you guys. We try to do some sort of solution to this, we think we're doing it right,
Yeah, and then
like, oh, we
it
help
causes
because,
issue
and then we just skip the total another issue, we have to go back there for somewhere else, so we needed to take a look at this completely. So we're, 100% willing to do that with you guys.
Excellent, and I think is there a
I got something to say. I got a call from RG this weekend.
Can you state your name, please?
RG Gavin, and I'm not here in an official capacity because of the township collector. I'm here as a citizen. I know this intersection very well, Berger and Spencer. I grew up 2 miles east in Spencer Highland subdivision. The extension of Briggs to Mills Road, I remember when it was built. Because you used to have to come down Spencer, make a right on Berger to get on Mills. They built that road because Southern Division headquarters for ComEd moved from downtown out on Brick Street. Ray, you remember?
Yeah.
You have to be old enough to remember that. Berger is a north-south road. Briggs is a north-south road. Spencer is east-west. Spencer pitches from Briggs to Berger. There's an elevation from Briggs to Berger going downhill. There's a pitch from Berger to Spencer down the hill. So the water's coming to that intersection. But there's a building on the southwest corner that never used to be there.
Right.
What happened, I don't know what's in that building or how big it is. That intersection always had issues because when it rained, it got a lot of water, lots of water. But what's happening now is, I talked to Margie for, 45 minutes?
Yes, thank you.
And I'm naming off addresses and houses. He says, yeah, and I only go out there every once in a while to check on my mom's old house. But where is he? Where your house is at, I know where that is. The water's coming from somewhere. So just trying to address it would be a great help to these people, because it's a great area to live in. And sending your kids, a little secret about Will County, move out there because Union School is one of the best schools in the county. There's about 12 kids per teacher.
Everyone moves there, it won't be though.
It's very small.
Small population.
And it's a great little school district. But the issue's been there for years. The ditch on the north side of Spencer between Briggs and Berger has always been shallow. was shallow because it was being pitched east to west. But once you went past Berger, that ditch got quite a bit deeper. That was because of the request of that house that sits on that corner, because that yard used to flood. That's on the northeast corner. Because it's a T.
Right.
It's the last house on Berger on the west side. He requested to have that ditch deepened, because his yard used to flood, his little brick house. But Spencer, from the country club to Berger, also pitches, there's an elevation change. So everything's going to that intersection. There's a lot of water. And it hasn't been a lot of development in that, other than the houses north of Berger. There's not a lot of development south of Spencer. And 50 years, 60 years. I moved to, well, my mom moved to that subdivision in 1965. I was 10. So that area really hasn't changed a lot. But if we can help these people, biggest problem. But it's an issue, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna take a lot.
Yeah.
We'll
Because
get
I don't
it
know what's-
started, but I would
yeah.
like to connect, you know, every entity
Because I think
for
the
that.
big issue was Brick Street. To get that volume of water, it's gotta be coming off of a flat surface. It's gotta be coming off a roadway somewhere. So, because when there was no road, yeah, you got a little bit of water, but not with the. That's it. I wish you lots of luck.
Oh,
I think my dad wanted to say something. I was speaking
Sure.
on behalf of him.
Can I ask a
while you-
question real quick?
Yeah.
When they put those pipes in, did that made it worse, right?
Yes.
Okay.
In the ditch
Yes,
on Berger Avenue?
yes.
Do you agree? Made it
I
worse?
think so. because, so
Go
you
to the
can
podium,
put, you
sir.
can build a bridge, but if there's no pitch to it, it's just standing water
And then
and.
it's stuck in the pipes.
Well, yes, because down the stream,
Right.
there's something that is causing it not to drain, not to flow. So
Right.
you're restricting the flow, therefore, it's like building a dam, right?
Right.
You're
And
gonna
you just keep
you're just gonna
pushing
keep
back.
going back and back.
So you think, should we get rid of the other pipes? And when
I
that
think,
ends up home-
I think
yeah.
so, but I think the problem is from the beginning, from what is the purpose of the retaining ponds east of Briggs? What is the purpose? Because when we go there, all the water that's coming from the Y on the east side, it's just going straight right to Frank's property, and then to my dad's property, and then it goes to the Pike's property. But the pipes and everything, it's just overflowing, and it's
Yeah.
Right.
just standing
It
water.
rushes. It
Right.
rushes
Yep.
onto the property. Dan?
The purpose of the
Can you take this
retention
podium,
bond
sir?
is
Say your
to
name.
slow down.
Frank,
the-
Say your name.
And
Go over
open
there
the
and say
podium.
your name.
First time here.
Hey.
No, hey.
Thank you for your service.
Welcome.
So I'm official
There you go.
speaker.
Your name again, please? I'm
Uh,
sorry. What was your name again?
Dan, your
As
name?
you guys know, I'm
Can you say your name? He can't hear you.
Frank Seafun.
No, I can hear you, just didn't
No,
say it.
he can't hear
Okay,
you.
Thank you.
Lived at that Spencer address since about 1960, 70, in that, after I graduated from school. That used to be a farm. My dad bought the property from a gentleman, and it used to be plowed. The whole section. I think I have a picture what the ditch used to look like before they brought the water from across Brick Street. We had, and I think she was with us when we had county engineer. He was about not very helpful. He said, we can't do anything, it's private property. So, right back, ever since they built that bridge on on Briggs, it just floods the whole section. And because of that, the farmer quit using the one portion of my property to plant any crops, because he got stuck one time with his equipment, and it took 2 tractors to get it out. But this would have to be looked, as I see it, it has to be looked at as the overall picture. The bridge on Spencer that lets the water from Burger onto Sugar Creek tributary is way too small, and it should be a few feet lower, so you get more slope, get the water away from up the street, from my property, his property, but what's going to happen when the church decides to develop the property on the other side of Briggs? And why in the heck did the Girl Scout development let the water run from the back of the lot instead of, getting it over in the other direction? I mean, you can't just say, well, the law says, I can do anything, but this story in Oregon, the guy put a rain barrel to catch rainwater from the roof. He got arrested by Army Corps of Engineers. And here, the city comes and the county and they say, well, it's natural. Well, it was natural, but you can't just forever say that's the way the law allows. So I'm not a speaker, and I get excited. So, and if anything can be done, look at the overall picture. You have to get the ditch on Burger like you mean it, not put a 12-inch or 20-inch pipe. That's nothing. It has to be a ditch that's about 5 feet wide and sloped into. When they put that retention pond across the street, the only reason they did it is to slow down, because so much water was coming from the Girl Scouts and the church and the other property that would flood the road. Every time we had a good rain, the county would come and put a barricade, or the police would change the traffic so that, because the water like this was right where they built that bridge. Now, it goes under the bridge, but then there's no point of, unless there's also, level here has to be higher than the level here. So, I don't know, I know Jose, is trying to do something, but we don't have the equipment. The only other solution was, but it's against the law for me to block the ditch, so no water from across Brick Street would come onto my property. I was already told, you can't do that, but something has to be done. Something has to be done. I'm losing money because, we're not developing. Jose's got, problem. Other neighbors have problems. So, but maybe it's up to you guys. Maybe you have the moolah. The only solution I had is if we get about 200 semi-trucks of dirt and just build the whole level up.
And then push the water back to where it came from.
So,
¿Puedo hablar en español?
Sí, claro.
Okay.
So, thank you for listening, and
Thank you.
Thank you. Pásame.
Mi nombre es José Ángel González, soy dueño de la propiedad de la 1407 Spencer. Digo yo, una pregunta, ¿por qué no se puede hacer algo para quitar toda esa agua? Ayer antier necesitábamos lancha para caminar, la calle no se miraba, ¿sí me entiende?
Sí.
Entonces, yo pienso que se puede hacer algo.
Sí, eso fue lo que mencionamos, que
Sí.
vamos con todos los que...
Porque
todos
no es
ahí.
justo, yo con sacrificios compré ese terrenito y dije, me la voy a pasar a justo aquí. No, me la paso trabajando. Esa señora trabaja más que yo, le gusta trabajar en el rancho aquí y allá y no nos cansamos porque queremos tener ahí más o menos y no podemos. Es todo. Digo, no es justo que si el agua de aquel lado de la bridge, yo no le voy a echar el agua a mi vecino y mi vecino me la va a echar a mí. Hay que buscar la forma de perjudicar a tu vecino. ¿Sí me entiende? De hacer las cosas normal.
Sí,
Es todo.
gracias.
Gracias.
I just want to add something. I'm going to be really quick because I don't want to beat a horse over the head. Megan Cooper. Angel, I do think, I'm sorry,
Address?
809 Diamond K Lane, Joliet. Angel, I do think you are 100% right. This is a bigger problem than just the township alone. And I also think that as far as, with you, Vince, what you're saying, it's private property, we get that as well. Let me take this off. This was a natural stream that was manipulated to take on more water than what it was meant to be. So therefore, in order to request that the property owners be responsible for something that was probably a bad concept to begin with, that wasn't even engineered correctly to hold that amount of water or to make sure that amount of water doesn't sit on property or drain off, is that totally right? To stick them with either, I would say, the bill or even having to try to work on this situation themselves. I don't think that Frank or Mr. Gonzalez should have to deal with this. I think that this is a township and a county issue that needs to be addressed by engineers. Look at it from all sides. I spoke with this man's son. They're getting water on 3 sides because on the back end of his property, it's coming down. On this end, it's coming down. And then it's coming down in the front of his house as well, and they're getting flooded out. This whole thing needs to be looked at as a whole. And county and township both should come together and try to solve this situation. Because speaking from a resident of that area, this isn't just a flooding issue, this is a public safety issue. So we have 3 roads that we can actually use to either enter or exit this community. One of them being 52 in Spencer Road. With the new industrial stuff that's come up, we have a ton of trucks that come down through there. In that intersection, they fly back down through there. They don't care about the speed limit or anything else. The other area is on Briggs and Spencer Road. Once again, we got hit with a truck terminal. All you see is trucks coming back and forth all day long. The safest intersection for us to actually exit our community is actually on Spencer Road and Burger Street, right there where it floods. So, we're talking about public safety as far as traffic. We're talking about public safety as far as his septic system may not actually be draining right, standing water. This is a bigger issue that was brought forth over a year ago that needs to be addressed and be addressed with some type of with some type of iffiness on it, because it's an issue here. And it's an issue that can't stand and persist and keep going on and on and on because it's causing further damage to the road, which is going to cost taxpayers more money. then just go ahead and fixing it right and get an engineer actually out here. Everybody quit guessing on if this pitch is this and a pitch is that, or if we do this or we do that. Get an engineer out there. Look at this in a whole and let them actually come up with the solutions to this and maybe work with the county, work with the township, work with the road district. And let's fix this
And
problem.
Mr. Gonzalez and Frank, because they need the input too, rather, because
Yes.
engineers told us that this is how it
Yes.
would be. Yeah.
And yes,
So,
and
just- I just
also,
wanted to
and
hear that.
no, yes, and also, not, I would just not say with them, I would say with the community itself. Because first off, for this, even in the beginning, to be pitched towards their yard, and the engineers came in and said, oh, this is how we're gonna do it, and they manipulated a natural stream, and for this man not to be able to use his yard in the capacity that it should be able to be used in, because this was done to them, is totally wrong. And it needs to be rectified.
So when I say we can't do stuff on private property, here's what I'm saying, is I can get our engineers involved, and we can take a look at this. Now, the only thing that we can actually take action on in our capacity is what we have, what we have responsibility for. So I'm completely open and very willing to do that, but what I can't do is I can't go onto somebody's private property and begin solving the problem there. Is that beyond our?
I get what you're
That's
saying,
beyond our
but the
ability.
county did.
Oh,
The
right.
county
The
did this to
county
them.
can't-
So that's why I'm saying,
But
I
the
get what you're
county
saying as
also
far as
is able
township.
to go and let
Right.
land use department. and so
Yeah,
forth.
and I get
Right.
what you're saying as far as township, that's why I'm saying, I agree with all you guys, this is a bigger issue. It just doesn't land on your
Sure.
back door, it lands on the county as well, so with all of it coming together, and whether or not, if the county is able to pick up on things that you don't have jurisdiction over, that you can't do, because the county is the one that came onto their property and manipulated what this natural stream was,
Sure.
it
And
just
they are the
worked
only
together.
ones who are able to
Exactly.
go on to private property.
Exactly. So, just speaking on behalf of it, I spoke to multiple neighbors in the neighborhood, it's more of a bigger issue, but thank you guys. I didn't wanna,
Well, we can start, your point is weird, it's bigger than just us, but we
Yeah.
can make the connection to, let's
Exactly.
start to see what part we can do forward, but then bring everyone else to do their part. Because we could literally do the part exactly how we're supposed to, and if the other entities don't follow through, it'll literally mess up the work for everyone.
and you are 100% right.
Well, Zeke and I and Frank and Jose, we're willing to work with you, as you had said, other townships are going through this.
Correct, I'll see what,
Yes.
there's more than one just way to, there's a lot of things we have to connect to this, right? It's our part, how we get not only creative, what we're allowed to do, and then it's also the other entities we need to bring in. So this is a bigger scope, but we will do our part to make sure we're making those connections, so we will do that. There's ways to get creative for smaller things. This is a lot bigger, but we'll do our part. So, we'll set up something with road district ourselves. This involves engineers, so again, this is an infrastructure project, right? No infrastructure project anywhere around here is quick, but we will take the initiative to make sure we can start providing realistic expectations, dates. It's a longer process than just our will, right? I can't wish into it, even if I had the money, for all of this, I just can't wish it into existence, because it involves a lot more than us. I can't speak it into existence, but we'll do our part.
And just cleaning out the ditches.
Yeah, those
a little
things
wider,
are,
I mean,
those
something
things,
to start
those are,
with.
and
It's
those
one
are the
thing
smaller
and
things that we
something,
can do,
you
right?
know?
So it's what can we do the
Yeah.
immediate, right?
Yeah.
And then what are the long-term things? And the more longer-term solutions aren't just us, but there are things that our road district that we can help do the immediate things, but this is clearly a problem that's been going on for years, that's more than just.
And I know the
The
ditches,
ditches.
if they got wide a little bit and took down and shaped it a little better, a whole heck of a lot of that water was shooting, gone a lot quicker than being held up, because it can't get. through
Correct,
that.
so it's looking at all the solutions, what can we do
Yeah.
that's quick, and then what's the long-term plan, because
Yeah.
some of this might be something we have to plan on, to a lot longer table, but we can do the we can do the things that we can do in the immediate impact. So it's looking at all those things together.
Okay.
And realistically, like, okay, what's now, what can we do tomorrow? Yes, sir.
I'd just like to make one more comment. What would happen if we decide to build a levee? You know, just to contain the water in the ditch?
I mean, I don't think.
We have certain obligations to the natural flow of water and regulations that we have to give to EPA, so it'd have to be
Yeah,
all
so this is-
administered. It's all administered through the engineers and what permits we'd be able to get, so I can't answer that specific question, you know.
So yeah, this is like a conversation that
Yeah.
involve
Yeah.
other entities outside of us,
Right.
so I also just don't
Because
wanna keep
anytime you-
saying.
Even if
Yeah.
you're building over, you know, natural flow of water without touching or manipulating the flow of water, you need several permits. We're dealing with that right now.
Well,
And
they
so if
have-
we're gonna manipulate the flow of water, I
They
can't
have
tell you
rivers
how.
in Mississippi River,
Right.
once they break, the whole state is flooded.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe that's what we need.
You know, Jose's a senior, my dad's
Yeah.
a senior, you have a lot of seniors on Berger Avenue. I thank you for, listening to all of us, that was our whole point of coming down to this meeting today. And I really look forward to, we all do, look forward to working with you. And, I will call your assistant and get your
Yeah, you
direct
just call my
email.
office directly, ask for me, and then we'll.
Okay,
just ask-
okay.
And then we'll get it all set up, we'll set up the road district, and then we'll be able to give you more details than just not giving you anything
Yes.
specific right now.
Perfect.
You know?
Thank you very much.
Yes, you.
Because I gotta get out of here. I just wanna say one thing. Thank you for giving them your ear.
Yes, thank you.
And just so that you know, I used to sit up there. It's the quickest, it's the easiest governmental agency in the United States to deal with, because they deal with issues directly. They don't give it to a committee. They deal with it now. Thanks for giving, they will come up with something, but this is a big one. So,
Absolutely,
thanks for
that's
giving
Thank
the
you.
ear.
No, absolutely.
And hello to everybody. Take care.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
No, thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you.
You
Any
can
other
stay for
public-
the meeting if you like. Quédense por la junta. Now you guys get to hear us.
Well, anything over this is overtime.
¿Cómo estás?
All right, any other public
Good to
comments?
see you here, not at St. Joe's Park.
Nobody?
Okay, next thing, our new business, we have approval of grants, we just had two, so the Leva one, we've done every other downtown event. So this is just an extension of that. That funds are used for, 501 for actual specific purposes, not just the organization. And then we have hosted human capital development. I think we have someone from, I think there's someone here from hosting human capital development. They want something to say. Broden, anything? Yeah, you can come on up. Obviously, I just had mentioned is we're now going to approval of our grants. If you had anything to say, we have you on the agenda. If you wanted to add anything.
Have you done your vote or,
No, we have not.
oh, okay, did you?
You want to
I
come
was
to the
just saying if
podium?
you want it before,
hear
you
more
just
about
wanted
it.
had anything to say.
No,
No? Okay, that's okay. So, this is an organization that works out of the Riverwalk Apartments, or their own 501c3. I think everyone saw it in their agenda, so they provide an entire array of services within that community. And after I had a long conversation and went through their application process, saw no need to not grant them these funds, especially the area they work out of. It's one of the most impoverished areas, and they do a lot of good work there. So does anyone have any questions or concerns? If not, then I move for a motion to approve the grant for Holston Human Capital Development.
So moved.
I'll second that.
No questions or concerns? Roll call, please.
Trustee Escutia?
Aye.
Trustee Ibarra?
Aye.
Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Supervisor Contreras?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, thank you. And then our next item is for LEDA, Latino Economic Development Association. They do, they help businesses here in the area and 501c3s. So this is the annual downtown festival. So we've helped, I know the library this year, we did including you. And this is just an extension of that. I think I mentioned it to everyone else. If there's no question,
I
there's
do
no-
have a question
Yeah.
about that.
Yes.
I did notice that the city of Joliet gave them 75,000 in the last week or two from, the CDBG, I probably said that wrong, but the cannabis tax. So I'm wondering, considering that fact, did they apply for this grant? And then they got the money for the city of Joliet, and nobody's here for me to ask, do they still need that 7,500?
So we're not, 75,000?
I'm sorry, 7,500.
Oh, no, we
They got
only approved.
75,000 for the
Yeah,
city,
we
so I'm
only
wondering if
approved
they
for
still
five-
need the 7,500.
Correct. I don't know what's all attached to their grant. Sometimes when they get those grants, it's attached to a specific position, a hire, and I don't wanna speak to something I do not know about.
I can speak a bit.
Yeah,
on that.
please
Thank
do,
you.
thank you.
Everyone, Cesar Guerrero, Joliet City Council, so I come to the podium. Cesar Guerrero, 637 Francis Street. So we did approve some money for LEDA, but that was through the CDBG fund, so Community Development Block Grants. Those are, as Angel said, kind of tied up. They've been earmarked for personnel for a micro enterprise program for the continuity of the year. It's sort of an extension of the work that was being done previously. I'm not sure if you guys have earmarks for specifically the money that you'd be giving to them, or if it's sort of a general fund. But I can just say that the money that was given to them through the city of Joliet specifically is for their micro enterprise, so for the assistance of small businesses to apply to DCEO state funding, and is not specifically for their downtown event.
Well, I am so glad you're here to answer that question, thank you.
Yeah, and I just know usually most grants that are tied like that are specific to, because organizations can get hundreds of thousands of dollars of grants, but depending what it is, it can be specifically tied to a certain. Thank you. Any other questions?
How much is the grant?
5.
5, because I
That is
read.
what our
Oh,
objection
sorry, it
said,
was only for 5, I
7,500.
get, so it'll be approval for $5,000 for
Which is consistent with the other downtown events in the area.
Yeah.
correct.
Okay.
Because I think it did say 70.
It's
Correct, and I
7,500.
said we could not do that because we have to be consistent, at least for these specific things that have to do with these events downtown, so with the
Oh, that's
sponsorship,
right,
the
yeah.
same amount, yes, correct,
Fantastic.
sorry. So can I get a motion to approve $5,000 for Latino Economic Development Association for their downtown event?
I'll make a motion that we approve $5,000 for the Joliet Latino Economic Development Association.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Trustee Escutia?
Aye.
Trustee Ibarra?
Aye.
Supervisor Contreras?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay. Thank you. Next are reports. We can start with Mr. Alessio.
All right, so during the month of July, the beginning of the month of August, our road crews continued highway maintenance, cleaning up trash along the road, clearing drains to allow water flow and mowing. And we have 2 different projects that are in various stages of engineering. So one of them is a road improvement project on some roads that really, really need it. California.
Ah.
Yeah, and then, and various others, and then as well as our Sugar Creek Bridge project that we should be going out to bid here soon on. And then this month, was one of them, it's now the time of year where we're starting to get into maintenance season on our trucks and our lift, and some of the investments that we've made in our road districts help us save. I mean, it's obviously estimated, but we did full brake changes on 2 different vehicles, replaced the transmission lines on various different vehicles, changed the front strut mounts, ball bearings, U-joints on various trucks, and, you know, if we went out to, and put that out to a service shop, I would say probably over $15,000 or $16,000, and for us, it was the cost of parts. So, much more efficient, and that's thanks to, like I said, the investments we've made into those parts, and the equipment we need to make sure we can do this work, but also our awesome staff. You know, we have guys who are very, very, very well qualified to do all that work, and I'm very proud of, you know, being able to deliver that savings. Especially, you know, we've talked for a while now, I have these 2 trucks that have been coming for forever, since May of 21, about when I took over. We've been waiting on 2 trucks that are in the ordering process, and we're still waiting on those 2 trucks. So we're continuing, and that's, you know, it's in a line of orders, and we're like, we were 18th, I think now we're like 12th. So it's slow, but we're making progress.
Have they given you any idea on how long it might be?
I call him like every month, and he doesn't have any, yeah, he doesn't, he's like, I don't know anything, you know, but, the good thing about it is, like I said, these 2 trucks are our 2 oldest trucks that we just did all this work on. They should be in great condition to plow if we need them to this year. They just had a ton of work done on them, so that's a huge, you know, it's not only a savings in cost, but it's also a great benefit to the road district, be able to do the work as it needs it, not have to schedule it out months in advance. I just schedule a recall on a vehicle, I can't even get a recall done until September 7th. So that's the type of environment we're in right now. We're able to order parts and fix our vehicles within a few days, so I'm very proud of that. And then we also want to mention the permitting service, the truck permits at the website, and we're getting good feedback from people who are using the permits. They find it to be more easily accessible, and we're also finding it a lot more easy to process the requests. So that's my report.
I do have some questions about that drainage problem.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't been out there, so I don't know what
Sure.
it looks like or anything else. But when we have drainage, do we have like easements alongside the road? How big are those easements?
Correct.
That we can,
It's not to ever try to, you know, not perform the work we need to, but there is a existing problem, as they mentioned. It goes from Briggs Street all the way across private property, and there's a natural flow of water directly from Briggs Street. And from the point that it exits Briggs Street, which is county, you know,
Okay.
jurisdiction,
Yeah.
is private property all the way to our jurisdiction on Berger, where this
Okay.
natural flow of water is. So we actually begin the process with where the actual flow of water is directly at Berger, and we have the ditch there. There are 2 pipes that, I guess, 3 commissioners now ago put into the ground because whatever reason, I guess. I've been told different
Yeah.
reasons, whatever the reason was. So we recently ripped them out because we think an open ditch is gonna be better. So I'm not trying, you know, and then there's, I mean, so basically what I'm saying is we have a lot that we could look into and do, but we, like I said, we begin where the water at Berger. And that's where our responsibility begins. And then also as well as Spencer. And as they mentioned, though they both pitch to the same corner then.
yeah.
And there is a natural grade, you know, back up Berger. There's for Illinois, a significant elevation going back up Berger, so there's no real way we could send the water north on Berger.
Yeah.
It'd be pretty tough. So, like I
So
said,
that-
we'd have to really
And so that water is basically coming across private property,
Yes.
getting down to Burger. And it's not going through any drainage? or
No,
anything?
there is water that's obviously coming from Briggs that goes to Spencer.
Okay.
But the real problem area with the natural flow of water that you're hearing about is absolutely from Briggs, cross private property to Burger.
That's a
Unless I'm
problem.
mistaken. Yeah.
No, you're right.
Yeah,
It's pretty much, but it was manipulated though.
Correct.
Because they put that culvert
Correct.
there, so it allowed more water to drain across private property than what was initially, was supposed to be a natural stream.
right.
So, and the county did
It's
that
supposed to
part.
be a pretty crawling creek type thing,
Yeah.
and there's a lot of burden being put on that now.
Okay.
So, yes,
I have a question about truck permitting.
Yes.
I don't know what that's about.
yes. We hand out overweight permits to allow trucks to move on our roads. And we have them pay for it, and we hand out overweight truck permits.
Is that a source of revenue?
It is a source of revenue.
Yay.
Yeah, it's not unique to us, everybody does it.
Do you,
But, yeah.
who has the decision on where the trucks can go then? Cause they're
Well-
overweight trucks, so that means that,
We can always turn down any request, but the state has guidelines of routes, and generally they're on our streets. But basically, they'd have like no other option how to use streets other than ours. What I can do by policies, what I have done is put the weight limits on trucks, and I can also have no on-street truck parking, which we've done the most aggressive version of that.
okay.
But we don't hand out overweight trucks just for any reason. It has to be part of a route, and they have to come and show that, there's a certain standard that they'd have to use to get our permits.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. We've actually had, well, yeah. We've been trying to do more with that, so that's, yeah.
Okay, thank
Yep.
you.
Anything else?
Jim? Yeah.
Oh, sure. Time to wake up.
Oh.
So we sent all our assessments, all 33,000 to the county, and the process is we send them over there. They look at it and see, make sure everything's there, and then I have to go to the county and sign them, so sign the book. There's a book every year that we have to sign once we release our assessments. The assessments will be coming out, I want to say next Wednesday. They'll be published, all the assessments, so you get that thick paper, that thick Herald News. And yeah, so then from there on, they'll have, once that's published, they'll have 30 days to, if they want to file a complaint. So I think it'll be like 7/13, no, I'm sorry, it'll be September 13th is probably the last day that they'll be able to do that.
The protester tax.
Yeah, to file the form and submit it, it has to be submitted by, I think, midnight, September 13th. So it becomes a very, very busy time, so we're trying to get ready for all this. But it happens every year, so there is no stopping. Thank you.
Ivan, yeah?
Thanks, Ivan, Finance Director. The only thing I really got to update you guys on is the ARPA, that we did finally get an email from them reaching out. They deemed our animal control vehicles ineligible, so we have to respond
I'm
with
sorry.
another option.
What did you say?
Our animal control vehicles was part of what we put in the application for the ARPA funds. So they do give us the opportunity to replace. So I think we already responded with a new replacement for those funds that were allocated to the animal control vehicles. So that's where we are in the process. We knew we would have to go back and forth a little bit. That's what I feel like what was the idea of that meeting, the quick turnaround of the application. So that's what the process is so far. I'll keep you guys updated every month, so that's all I got though.
What did we replace the vehicles with?
Oh, Pace,
The transportation, but the thing is, as he said, it's fluid, I guess that's why they did it so quick. So if something doesn't work, we still have the opportunity to switch it, even when we attended the meeting. I think they just wanted to get everyone on board with something, so that all the revisions that are gonna be happening happen with time, and not every township doing it at once. So, we'll have time, cause I think they actually sent out, email to also meet with them again, so, one-on-one. Yeah, so, I think that's why it went from the first time, right, it was like, they let us know, we went, and then they needed it 2 weeks later. I think it's cause they just wanted everyone to turn in an idea, because townships, depending on the township, probably not gonna be able to get it all in one, so there's no danger of, or worry of not getting funds, so we're not in that situation at all. It's just, that's why they probably wanted to do it early, so we can adjust where we need to, say this work, this doesn't work.
yep, that's it.
Things like
Thank you.
Patricia?
So, this past month, Sue's really knocked it out of the park with the outreach events. She's represented the township at several different events, and for that I will be forever grateful to her for sitting out in the sun and the heat. Sue and I attended a GAT meeting at Plainfield Township. That meeting featured presenters from Catholic Charities and from IDES. We have hired a new bilingual caseworker who is due to start on August 15th. We're very excited about that. Angel and I have reviewed our emergency assistance program, and based on phone calls that we've been getting, we've added electric disconnects to the program as well as vehicle repairs to the menu of allowable expenditures. The vehicle repairs are being done in the form of an employment support program, so anyone that applies for that type of assistance will have to currently be employed. We will be having Will County Center for Community Concerns at the Township office on September 8th from 9 a.m. until 3 p.m. to take LIHEAP applications. September is for senior citizens and households with disabled persons. They have also added to LIHEAP this year that undocumented individuals can now apply, which has been something that the state has never allowed, and it's now being allowed, so that'll be good for our area especially. And then other than that, it's just business as usual.
Thank you. Whitney?
July has been a really busy month for us. With cat intakes and adoptions, we have doubled them since June. We've also been working on getting everything prepared for our upcoming events, especially our Dog Day at Julie Field of Paws event, August 16th. Angel prepared a team to help with planning of this complex and exciting fundraiser, and so far we have been able to get some promotional pictures and videos filmed at the ballpark to get the marketing going, so we will be sure to have a successful fundraising event. Another August event we will be collaborating with is Doggy Yoga at Inwood Athletic Club on August 29th. Some of the proceeds from the tickets will be donated to animal control, and we'll have some adoptable dogs interacting with the yoga group during the class. Veronica, one of our animal control officers, and I met with Trustee Ibarra for coffee with the trustee on August 5th to discuss what we as an animal control do and answer any questions that citizens have. We recorded this session for future educational use. The sandwiches and coffee were delicious, and we had a great time sharing our experiences with the community. Thank you for inviting us.
Thank you for coming.
This past spring, we had ordered new dog kennels for our dog room to be updated and allow for additional cage space to keep up with the local demand for more animal intakes. They're arriving ahead of schedule and should be in either next week or the week after, ready to be installed. Our next volunteer orientation day is September 17th, and we're looking forward to meeting and teaching more volunteers how they can make a difference. I reached out to District 86 about a school supplies drive. We're running a back-to-school adoption special for cats who have been with us all summer to have a free adoption fee when school supplies are donated. So we're just starting that actually today, and that's going to run through the whole month of August. But that's all I have. Any questions?
Ready for next Tuesday.
I'm working on my pitch.
What's next Tuesday?
That's the
The
day of
ballpark.
we have the tickets for everyone. So the day, it's gonna be a nice event for the animal control, good fun. Things are going well.
Aren't you coming?
I guess so.
Yes, sir, you gotta dig it. Yeah. Jeff is not here today, but the report should be
It's in
in
the
there,
packet.
yep, and then, Alicia?
Thank you, everybody, for being here. From the clerk's office, I have to report that our interns have completed their assignment, and I'm excited that they were able to take on, they did a lot for our office, digitizing all of our documents, all of our records, labeling all of the files. And one of the projects, their capstone project, consisted of a comprehensive comparative analysis of all townships within Will County. They put a presentation together for all of our trustees at different times so that OMA was not violated at any time. They also presented to the supervisor and the highway commissioner. And this project wasn't so much for them to learn as much as it was to inform and educate our trustees, everyone that's elected to this new role since we've been in office for 1 year, so they can kind of get a comparison of what other townships do or what they're not doing and compare where we're at, and maybe how involved trustees would like to get involved and take on, spearhead certain projects within the township. And then one of the things that we found was very interesting is how townships that have pretty sizable budgets and they accomplish quite a bit, but they also have the staffing resources to do it. So they hire people in positions to run all of these programs, because a lot of townships do a lot more than we're doing a lot. We're not duplicating the wheel. There's already a lot of organizations within Joliet, which, by the way, Joliet Township had the very lowest median household income from every township in Will County. And we have a lot of organizations that exist that are already doing a lot of the great things. So what we do is we are helping them. So when we get questioned about, oh, you're giving money here, you're giving money there, it needs to be going to these places. And I'm very proud of the work that our supervisor continues to do. But in order to do all of these other things, we would need to hire maybe other departments and fully staff them, because we wear many hats here at the township and we do quite a bit with the very few people that we have. So that project was very interesting. All of the data was given, packets were given to all of our trustees, to the highway commissioner and the supervisor. So the interns, their last day was Friday. And other than that, it's just regular day-to-day things at the clerk's office. Thank you.
Thank you. And then I guess me, the interns did a great job.
She has a question.
I had a question.
Yes.
I'm sorry. You can go ahead, do yours. It's fine, I can wait.
You
Yeah, go ahead.
here?
You already started.
Just say, Derek's still here till the end of the month as well. The cemetery project is finally moving along. It started well, and then it stagnated, just getting a lot of information and data together. And I think we're at the point now where we're going to be start seeing a lot of the data that we compiled start getting generated into our more sophisticated program. And on our end, on the user's end, it's going to be super simple, but there's a lot of data over 100, almost 150 years of records that we had to provide, not only with Derek but with Paul. There's still a lot of work we're going to have to do to tidy everything up, but it's kind of exciting that we're going to be moving on to the next phase. Realistically, probably won't be ready till October, November, because it is that checking, rechecking, and data intensive. But it's pretty exciting to being able to be in the next phase of things. I did quite a bit of outreach I went with Sue to, including yous and the Kids Fest downtown, and we were I think we were like the busiest, booth, their station, people asking lots of questions, and interacting with people, so it was actually, I'm glad we were able to go participate, and just let more residents know, the services we had. People were very actually receptive to a lot of the partnership working with organizations, and also just like knowing that we existed, even in something as simple as like the medical loan closet. People were very receptive to that. Didn't matter the age or anything. People were like, oh, it's a good resource to know in case we ever know of someone that needs it. The residents were pretty receptive to everything we did, and shared a lot of our other events, like what our animal control is doing, and so now they know who to call at least for questions. So that was well received at the events. And then other than that, I don't think, besides working with Ivan on this ARPA deal, there's nothing yet. But I think this next meeting we have, it's going to be a lot of communication between myself and all the trustees, because we have to dig more into the ARPA stuff a little bit more specifically. So that's going to probably involve a amended budget, so it'll be communicating with everyone. We don't know all the details yet, but it probably will. And I think that's it. We did a lot of planning for this, the Dooley Day, the Doggy Day at the Slammer Stadium. There's actually a lot to coordinate, a lot to get done, and everyone managed to pull together. So I'm glad it's been smooth chaos as far as yeah, as far as like just all the information and all the work that needed to get done. And now the closer we get to it, everyone's collaborating perfectly. So I'm very happy about that.
I have something really
Exciting.
quick.
Okay.
I ran into Adriana at the gym yesterday, one of the interns, and I told her, like, I saw leaps and bounds of things improve since all those interns have come here. I saw just so many things improve here. So it was definitely a breath of fresh air, and you guys were tons of help. You probably came here thinking you were gonna learn, and you taught all of us things too, so thank you for that. And then I'm just wondering if we have any comments about Carl's replacement.
Well, we are going to follow the state statute as we have, it's September 23rd.
So he has to be replaced by then?
Correct. So as of the 25th, it was 60 days from that, and we're gonna follow state statutes, and everyone here will be contacted with the entire process. So it's not gonna be something that happens one day to the next.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
I have a
And then,
question.
yes, go ahead.
Which I know we do have a lot of great organizations here in Joliet, you know, as was mentioned before. Just for clarity with, as far as, grants, and how are they actually vetted?
So everyone that comes in they come in and they interview, with myself, and then I report back. Most of the grants that we've actually approved have not been to the even original amounts. I think you guys have seen, like, sometimes not even close. Because we do ask for a very specific thing of what are they gonna provide, right? Not just I am this organization and I would like to do this. I think even though when we did the bigger, the grants, it was, this is your, I see you can do it, and some weren't approved. But then we are doing our audits to follow up with all those organizations as well, to making sure they do what they say. So that is also, Anna and myself are working on what's that gonna look like with each organization, because we have to do our due diligence. As our legal counsel also said, we had talked about this when we do these grants, where we also have to do the follow-up. So we have to do our audits through them to make sure they provided the services they said they were going to provide for the residents.
That answered it.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, thank you. But that's a process actually that we are actually working on the rubric for us to audit ourselves.
I hope you would get the trustees involved in that, because I'm more than willing to take time to help.
Yeah, correct. That's gonna be a process, but it's also, we have to see what it actually looks like with legal as well.
Okay.
There's no reason not for trustees not to be involved. but we have to see what that involvement, what actually looks like.
Right.
Because it's gonna be more than just, I mean, you know, there's different things we can do, but like unofficially, it all comes down to the supervisor's office, but I think we can get involved in some sort of scenario, and I don't wanna say it's one thing right now when it can't be. But that's, part of the process that we're gonna have to follow the road for ourselves. Cool. All right, now on to approval of, receipts and expenditures, right?
Okay, I'll make a motion that we place the cash receipts into their proper accounts.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Trustee Escutia?
Aye.
Trustee Ibarra?
Aye.
Supervisor Contreras?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Next, we'll go to the expenditures, and I make a motion that we certify the general town fund expenditures of $161,122.98 as being correct, and approve them for payment.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Sure. Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Trustee Escutia?
Aye.
Trustee Ibarra?
Aye.
Supervisor Contreras?
Aye.
Motion carried.
The next fund we talk about that's in our packet is the expenditures for the capital fund. There were no expenditures for the capital fund, so we'll just move on. No motion for that. Next, we move to general assistance. And in general assistance, I'll make a motion to certify the cash disbursements or expenditures for the general assistance fund of $13,734.69, and that we approve them for payment.
I'll second. Did I get a second? That's easier.
Trustees?
Well,
Sorry.
let me make a motion first. I know, now, maybe this has changed, maybe we've handed out a new sheet. But in our packet, the expenditures were listed at $10,929.22. But, what happened is that the August 4th payroll was, missed on the expenditure sheet, and that made up the difference. It's at $13,734.69. So if you were wondering why there was a difference on our packet, that was the reason for the difference. Right
Make motion.
No.
You didn't make it.
I made the motion, I
All right.
just,
Second. So, trustee Escutia seconds, roll call, please.
Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Trustee Escutia?
Aye.
Trustee Ibarra?
Aye.
Supervisor Contreras?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Next is the Joliet Township Road and Bridge Fund. I make a motion that we approve the cash expenditures of $149,446.39, certifying them as correct and approving them for payment.
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Trustee Escutia?
Aye.
Trustee Ibarra?
Aye.
Supervisor Contreras?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Moving on to the Animal Control Fund, I make a motion to certify the $119,270.68 of cash expenditures as being correct, and make a motion that we approve them for payment.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Trustee Ibarra?
Aye.
Trustee Escutia?
Aye.
Supervisor Contreras?
Aye.
Motion carried.
Okay, next is our Joliet Township Senior Fund. I make a motion that we approve the cash expenditures of $3,000 and certify it as being correct. I believe that was widowers and.
Second that.
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Trustee Ibarra?
Aye.
Trustee Escutia?
Aye.
Supervisor Contreras?
Aye.
Motion carried.
That's it.
Okay, thank you. One of the things before we adjourn, I forgot to mention, is that the room has been getting used a lot more now. We installed finally our new key entry system, so we had the Nonviolent Project come the last Wednesday of the month, they were able to get in here during a specific hour, and get out with only access here. Will Grundy Medical has done their pharmacy clinics here in the day. Today was very well attended. They were very busy, in and out all day. That they also had our vaccination clinic here already once as well, so they're here every Tuesday doing their pharmacy. And it's just been good to see people just coming in and out all day for their services. And I have some of the other organizations that we have supported are gonna be using the space to provide services here as well. So it's been a good help already. This calendar is getting filled with the community using the space for community purposes. So just wanted to mention that real quick. So that's all we got as far as public space. So just make it as accessible to the public as we can for what we got. So if there's anything else, can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
I guess a second. All right, roll call please.
Trustee Ibarra?
Aye.
Trustee Escutia?
Aye.
Trustee Slattery?
Aye.
Supervisor Contreras?
Aye.
Motion carried, 6:25 adjourned.